Welcome everyone to this new episode of Beyond the Airbrush, and today is another special episode because it is the first time ever that we have an Imperial Fist aficionado in the series, and I have to say, yeah, it was kind of hard to me to accept that, but yeah, you have to give them the respect that they deserve for being awesome opponents on the battlefield. So yeah. So today I'm with Paintedteeth. How are you?
I'm very well. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Always happy to discuss the hobby and everything about the heresy. So, obviously, you're from England, another Englishman. Your main passion is about heresy, but if I'm correct, you did painted some other stuff too. Uh,
Yeah,
but the main point of today is about the
the
heresy.
heresy. Yeah,
And you can find more from you on Instagram, mainly at Painted Teeth.
yeah,
So
that's me.
yeah, it, does that is related to any paint accident or anything?
No, I'm a dentist, so it just kind of links the two. To be fair, I wish I'd changed it because being a dentist doesn't define me, and yet it's yeah, the thing I chose. So there we go.
Right. And on the side of the screen, you can see some of the latest posts from you. But actually, this is not up to date because you are cracking through the Saturnine box lately.
Yep,
And
yeah.
we will saw more of that after all the questions. So to start with an easy one, just to get a bit to know you,
Mhm.
can you state the decade you were born?
So I'm officially born in the 80s, but right at the end.
Yeah, yeah, it still counts, right?
Still counts.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And how did you get into the hobby?
Um, I think it's a tale as old as time. It seems like a lot of guys in our position was exactly the same, and that you spend a lot of time as a teenager, sort of dabbling in it as a kid, and then you fall off it.
Hmm.
Particularly during my teen years, it was sort of particularly uncool, I suppose. So you kind of hide it and fall off it for whatever reason, and then picked it back up. I think I was about 22, and I was finishing my degree, and yeah, I just fancied doing a bit of painting again.
Hmm.
So I had a little like hobby corner in my uni bedroom, and would sort of sneak away to do a bit of painting, and it was the Dark Eldar range
Yeah.
refresh that got me back in. And yeah, loved them. That was brilliant. And yeah, I've been pretty consistently hobbying now since then, so about 13 years, which is pretty frightening.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's well, like
Yeah.
really more over a decade, maybe more than 20 years,
Mm.
all
Altogether, yeah,
yeah.
horrible.
Mm. Well, no, we can say that because we are between us, hobby nerds. So
Mm.
hobbying is cool, actually.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I think it is. I think it is a lot now. I think it's definitely more for me now. I don't know if it's just because I've got older, but I'd say it's a point of pride. I think it's a hobby that like it encompasses a lot of real positives. Like you've got the creative outlet, you've got the community aspect, you've got the gaming aspect. Like, I think it's a really good way to spend your time. Yeah.
Mm, yeah, yeah, I think that too, and that's directly related to the next question. So the hobby is really a great way and very easy way to spend all of our money. But do you
Too
think that,
much of how much.
yeah, but actually, when you think about the money you spend in the hobby and the time you spend
Yeah,
hobbying,
massively.
I'd say it's a pretty good value for money, actually, in the end.
Yeah, I would say so. I think the amount of time you get out of
Mm,
each purchase is good. I think the main issue comes when you your backlog grows, and you've got to have a real sort of uh, appreciation for what you can actually do in the time you've got, type thing. So yeah, I've just recently spent time thinning my hobby, my pile of shame or
Yeah.
pile of potential uh, drastically, which has been really cathartic, to be honest. Like it's a good, it just kind of helps focus you, I'd say, like really makes you think about what you can get done, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And does the hobby help in any other way? I mean, regarding life in general?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I used to do a lot of like gaming. So I used to do a lot of video gaming, and I
Mm.
think the main issue with that was, I'd get home from work and I'd play a lot of like competitive games online with friends and things, and I'd feel like I'd have to sort of like chug a Red Bull, really try and sort of like get back on the A game.
Mm.
And I'd be left in a really terrible mood because we'd lose a game or this would happen or
Mm.
whatever, and that would then bleed out into my personal life, which is not really the way you want to spend your spare time. And
Mm.
obviously, with this hobby, you sit in your little space and it's quiet and you can actually switch off and relax. And
Mm.
yeah, it's lovely, really lovely.
Right. And what aspect of the hobby do you like the most? Or what do you like the most in the hobby?
Phew. I was thinking about this the other day actually because I mean, like I was saying before, there's so many positives to it.
Mm.
In you've got the kind of creative painting, modeling aspect, you've got the gaming, and then you've got the community as a whole. And each one brings something like fantastic, I'd
Mm.
say. I think I'm in it, primarily I enjoy the painting side of things. I enjoy the I'm a real big like I get a big hit of dopamine from finishing things,
Mhm.
which is a good thing and a bad thing. A lot of the time, I wish I'd spent time on certain things. Um, but yeah, the sort of painting, the cinema of it, and then being able to then spend time with friends and people in the community who are, all brilliant, is the main reason I'm here. The gaming side of things I enjoy, but I think the problem for me is I don't the headspace I have for it. Uh, a lot of the time, maybe I can't keep up as much,
Mm.
but I'm capable, I'd say.
Mm. Right. And so just for the first miniatures I picked from your profile, we have a Contemptor Dreadnought. Uh,
Yep.
so uh, what uh, what struck my eyes is it's an Imperial Fist, obviously, but
Yep.
the way you tackle it's not a baby duck
Yeah.
yellow,
Yeah.
it's more brownish orange yellow
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Definitely.
with a lot of, oh, well, not a lot, but quite the weathering. And
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, it looks dangerous, menacing. So no, it's
Yeah.
a great interpretation of the contempt of Dreadnought, and I really like the red helmet with the white stripe on it.
Yeah. 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 I think kind of
That
helps kind of break things up, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's
Um,
yeah, this one
yeah.
is pretty cool.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. When I started this, so it all started when Age of Darkness came out, the
Mm,
second edition,
hmm.
and I was trying to decide what Legion I was going to do, and it was between White Scars and Imperial Fists. And I've already got a yellow army. I've got a Yandan Eldari
Yeah,
army or
okay.
Eldar army. Um, and I was sort of, oh God, what do I do? Because I don't want another yellow army, and it
Mm,
was a bit. But in the end, I was just like, yeah, I've always wanted to do Imperial Fists. That was always my kind of like thing I wanted to do, and so I just jumped in, and I was really inspired by the Siege of Terror
yeah.
in their. I wanted them to look like they've been. defending for, weeks, years type of thing,
Mhm.
and obviously limited opportunity to maintain and things like that. And they were a lot of these were sort of new skills as well. So I've probably overdone it in a few areas on certain other models, but I'm able to kind of like help it's more nowadays refine it a little bit, I'd
Yeah.
say. So, but yeah, no, I was really pleased with this one.
Yeah, you should. It's a beautiful one. And
Thank you.
I did not even talk about the black of the on the shoulder, because black is pretty difficult to paint, not in a
Yeah,
monotonous manner. And as if we can take a closer look at the shoulder pad, they are
yeah,
not totally black, but
no,
there's a subtle gradient on
yeah,
those, and that's very,
yeah.
very cool, actually.
Yeah, no, it was a conscious decision to sort of contrast it with the yellow. So just use like a blue. So you've
Mhm.
got the three primary colors there. You've got the red, the blue, and the yellow.
Mhm.
But obviously just in a lot more of a sort of subtle way. So um, yeah,
No, this is a great one. And more dreadnoughts are coming.
yes, yeah.
Uh,
Saturnines in progress. Yeah.
yeah, great. Um, is there something that you dislike in the hobby?
um, I watched the episode with Max. Um, uh, Reaving, Black Reaving. What's his
Black
Instagram
Weaving?
tag? Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
Black Reaving.
mm,
And Max like nailed it on the head. Is that feeling of inadequacy when you see some people's work, and I think that touches back on what I was saying before. Like I'd love to have the patience
mm,
to do what certain people do, and just spend a month on a
mm,
figure and have it come out perfectly. Like um, we recently went to No Retreat and Lee Bates' army, and he's
mm,
just, it's incredible, like absolutely incredible. Um, but again, I envy him because he's got the ability to just sit and
mm,
get all that freehand done and whatever. Uh, but the thing is it's a double-edged sword, right? Because it helps drive you. Like,
mm,
the progress I've made, I'd say, in my painting in the last just few years, just from that constant, you know, push forward,
mhm.
by being inspired by everything around me, is a real boon. So, yeah, it's good and it's bad, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I get that. And
Yeah.
yeah, you're talking about Lee's Ultramarines, and I think it was last week or maybe 10 days ago. The guy did just a basic 10-man tactical squad
Yeah.
for his Ultramarine. And I'm painting some Ultramarines nowadays. And I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, no, come on. No, that's,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, exactly. It's just like, why do I even bother?
yeah, please stop. Please stop.
Yeah,
Stop
yeah,
doing that.
please just stop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No,
No.
it's, yeah, he's an incredible painter.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but as you say, it's a great source of motivation too. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's cool.
Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite faction or legion maybe?
Uh, well, Imperial Fists are definitely up there. But no, the decision when I was getting into Heresy was it was either Imperial Fists or White Scars.
Mm,
Um, and I've always had a soft spot on the Heretic side for Death Guard. So that's
yeah.
going to be probably my project for 3.0 when I get a chance to sit down and start it. So, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Do you have a favorite character from the Heresy lore?
Sigismund is definitely,
Ah.
I think, my favorite. Yeah, no, the so yeah, I remember when the Heresy books all came out, and I was working my way through them, and I was always sad that there wasn't a huge amount of Imperial Fist stuff,
Mm,
just because it was interesting to me what they were kind of up to.
mm,
Um, but the Siege of Terror really gave me a lot of material there. And yeah, I think my favorite bit in the whole Siege of Terror series was when Sigismund was kind of like unleashed. He's this sort of character who,
mhm,
bit of a naughty boy because of his beliefs, and Dawn knows that and is sort of ashamed of that, but knows how capable he is,
Mm.
and so just lets him loose. And that scene, I can't remember which book it is. Um, Anyway, it was
Mm.
brilliant. I loved it. Yeah.
Uh, I have to admit that I really didn't like the character from Sigismund character, but it
Hmm.
was mostly because of his 2.0 profile. So
Yeah.
he was like clearly over the top about everything. It
Yes,
was
very much so.
crazy.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was too much. And then I'm still reading the Siege of Terra books, and in the
Mhm.
first one, in the Solar War,
Yeah.
there's a scene with Fafnir Ran, Sigismund, and
Yeah.
maybe a third one, Pollux. No, not Pollux, another one,
Yeah.
another sergeant or captain, and they are
I like
fighting.
Panda Diaz or um yeah, I can't
Uh,
remember.
yeah, and they are fighting against Sons of Horus.
Hmm.
And after having read that, yeah, Sigismund and his friends, yeah, they came out differently, in my opinion. So
Yes.
yeah,
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 that's the thing, isn't it? They just I think this is the thing with characters is it depends how well they're fleshed out
yeah.
in a lot of places, aren't isn't it? And yeah, it was nice to have a bit more written about them.
Mm.
And yeah. Yeah.
And do you have a favorite battle or I don't know, book or specific piece of art?
Um, I mean, I definitely think that the Siege of Terror, the series as a whole, had a lot of ups and downs, but it
Mm.
was that kind of block in the middle. And I won't spoil anything because I know you haven't finished, but there's a sort of yeah a set of stories in the middle where it's it's just sort of thick in the fighting type
Mm.
thing of like trying to hold them off, hold the heretics off, and yeah, all of the bits in that Warhawk sits was up massively up there for me. I loved Warhawk. I thought it was a
Okay.
brilliant book. Um, but yeah, no, the scenes with Sigismund and the Templars are yeah some of my favorite. Less towards the end, it got a bit funny
Mm.
in the end of the death. Again, no spoilers, but yeah, that kind of chunk in the middle is really where my inspiration for the heresy
Yeah.
lies. Yeah.
Right. So you are deep or far with your imperial fists. You have a lot of them, uh, and you were talking about maybe starting a Death Guard army. Do you have
Mhm.
a specific process, or well, I mean, what's on your mind when you are thinking about starting a new army?
Yeah. Ooh. I think it's probably an end goal in so much as like what do I want to do with this project? So I would say since getting into heresy, I think when now I suppose it's easy with hindsight, but I would say my Imperial fists now I would sort of class as like my gaming army. I can pick them up,
Mm,
I can take them, into London and play a few games, and I've got a lot of different units, so I've got a little bit more I can kind of choose from and try things out.
mm,
But then I still wanted to keep them in a theme, so I haven't got jet bikes or assault troops or anything like that. Like they're like a sort of mounted. It's a mounted force effectively. So
mm,
they've always all been in Rhinos, Land Raiders, Spartan, and soon to be a Mastodon. But it was the idea of kind of like either like you know a rapid redeployment or going to kind of like shore up a piece
mm,
of the wall type thing. And then obviously you've got your sort of like support troops behind that. Um, the but yeah, the Imperial Fists very much sort of like the gaming army. The White Scars were kind of like the next project, and I wanted to push a few more things with that. I wanted to make them a little bit more moody. I was inspired by the um, them assaulting the Lion's Gate, which
mhm,
again later in the series in Siege of
mhm,
Terror. So under the shadow of the orbital plate, so I wanted to kind of get that feel for that, and again try a few new skills, etc., etc. With the Death Guard, I think I think really for them, I've got a sort of 3,000 point list broadly in mind.
yeah.
I've got all the models. The process for me now is kind of like choosing the color scheme, deciding what I want to push, and and improve on. And I'd say, having gone to No Retreat, and we've already talked about Lee Bates, but all the other armies there that did
Mm,
incredibly well, just some fantastic hobby on display. Um, it's really about how I can kind of push my skills, and this next project will be, I'm hoping, a little bit slower,
mm.
a little bit more refined. I want to include a little bit more sort of like brushwork into my projects, and yeah, I think the new project will be, you know, expanding the skills
Yeah.
effectively, and just trying to push on that.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I've also got a, now that 3.0 is out, and the sort of the ability to take an allied detachment
Yeah.
is easier. I've
Mhm.
got a I've always wanted to round out my kind of like Siege of Terror force. So I'm just going to do like 30 or 40 assault type troops for Blood Angels, so that I've
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
the
Mm.
three defenders. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's cool. So that's very interesting is that on your mind there's like an army that you like, but also what you can get out from get from this project from a
mm,
painting side and then also on the gaming side. Well, not the
mm,
gaming side per se, but the theme, the global theme
yeah,
of the army. Yeah. So
yeah,
a three-dimensional approach to pick an army that's yeah.
yeah. I
Really,
mean, that's the thing. I've got, unfortunately, I think we a lot of the time we all fall into the trap of, we get distracted, and there are different systems, and you've got a mate who likes this system who you want to play with, and all this kind of
mm,
thing. And I've definitely learned that, you can take things. Um, you don't have to take things to the highest standard all the time. So,
mm,
like for example, I've just been dabbling in Old World because I've got a few close friends who play.
yeah,
But in my mind, I've been very much, look, I'm not going to spend hours. Sorry, garbage. I'm not going to spend hours and hours and hours um, painting these, because I don't have the time, I don't have the willpower to kind of take these all to,
mm,
the same kind of level I've taken my other stuff. So it's just about, I think, setting realistic goals for what you want to do
mm,
with that project, I think.
yeah. Um, so you used or you are used to play the game. What do you enjoy specifically about the Heresy game?
Um, I mean, it's just a real spectacle. Like, I think, especially because, so we play mainly at a place called Bad Moon in central London,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of 40k,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Uh, horses for courses. Some people like it, some people don't. Um, but I think the attitude towards 40k leans more into the game side of things. So you
Mm,
see a lot of like, your wooden L-shaped terrain, and you see a lot of unpainted armies, or just, three color, whatever. And that's absolutely fine. Like, you want to go and enjoy the game. It's a game, it's an intellectual challenge, etc., etc. But Heresy, most of the time, 95% of the time, you've got two people who really enjoy, the painting side of things, the
mm,
spectacle of it. You put it all on the table, and it just looks amazing, and you've got proper terrain, you've got a proper map, you've got two really good looking armies, and it just looks like you imagine it. And I think
mm,
that it always really sort of inspires me, because it's just, you can really, I don't know, just get into it, and it's a real spectacle. It's real cinema in my
yeah.
mind. You can really sort of, it's easy to kind of play it all out in your mind, and the dice kind of define, what's happening here and there.
Mm,
I think it's brilliant. Yeah, it's really great.
right. And well, that's something that I hear very often, the difference between 40K and the Heresy. And
Mhm.
when you are playing in like in a public area, so the public cafe.
Yeah.
Do the 40K players come and have a look at your table saying that, oh yeah, it looks cool? Oh,
Yeah, a lot of the time you get, people will sort of like pop over and say hi or have a little look or whatever. And I think it is. I think it's I think actually sort of finishing an army or just getting it painted to a standard that you're kind of happy with is pretty straightforward. You just got to sit down and do it. And I think
Mm,
that's the thing that a lot of people maybe get a little bit overwhelmed by. I mean, I say that a lot of 40K models are so detailed, and
oh yeah.
I've tried to paint. I've got a kill team in the making at the moment, and the amount of like
Mm-mm.
that pouches and
Yeah.
necklaces and stuff, and so, but even so, like there are methods and ways to speed that up.
Mm-mm.
Um, but I think hopefully we can push the hobby more into getting like a fully painted
Yeah.
mindset. But maybe that's
Yeah.
unrealistic of me. Maybe that's, I definitely represent someone who really enjoys the painting side of
Mm,
things, and I know that's not
right.
not for everybody. So
Mm. But also, just to advocate for the 40K players, I'm not a 40K player myself, and I don't know very much about the game. But what I've been told is that the game itself,
mhm.
the meta, the rules, etc.,
Yeah,
is changing so much and so often that people can't keep up with the pace and paint and buy new miniatures
this is true. Yeah,
every week. So
yeah.
yeah, that's part of the
You need such
reason.
a huge pool of
Yeah,
models if you wanted to be able to play everything you want to play, which
mm,
yeah, that is restrictive, isn't it,
yeah,
for a lot of people?
a
Yeah.
bit, yeah. So speaking of playing, is there a strong community, heresy community in your whereabouts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super lucky because London has just a fantastic
Yeah.
core of players and a really strong community. So there's
Mm,
always something going on. I'm 40 minutes away from a really friendly, massive gaming cafe,
yeah, nice.
which I meet up with people and play regularly. And yeah, it's brilliant. And so there's been less events.
Hmm.
Yeah, less events because a lot of the events tend to get spread out all over the country. But when 2.0 first dropped, there were a few fun little one dayers and things like that which we
Mm,
went to. So yeah, I feel really really lucky and really privileged to be part of that.
right. And speaking of events, so you obviously, so as you said, you went to No Retreat in
Yep.
Gibraltar, and
Yeah. Yeah.
actually, I just had an interview with someone who know that very well yesterday evening,
Hmm.
and it will be the next episode of the series.
Yeah,
But
bro.
did you attend some other events?
Yeah, no, so I've been to quite a few. So there was a few dotted around London, but the sort of big staples in the UK, your G from the Warp
Yeah.
and uh, forgotten the other one. Regardless, yeah, there's, all over the country, there's some fantastic events being run,
Mm,
and they're always great fun. Like I was saying before, like I'm lucky in that I've been introduced to a bunch of really good guys who I get on very well with, and they're great fun. And it's just really good to kind of like keep your motivation
mm,
going, and I found that events are brilliant for trying to kind of like um, just get that thing finished or get that project done
yeah.
because you've got that deadline to meet, and that's great. Like I think I found towards the end of last year, I went to quite a few events and I found that pressure a little much. So I was quite grateful once they'd all finished. I was quite glad to just be like, I'm going to do something really random now. But it did mean that I came out of it with like my finished White Scars project done.
Mm.
So that was nice. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. So when you were younger, I don't mean that
Mhm.
you're old now, but younger,
Mhm.
did you ever throw a metal mini at a non-sport opponent?
I thankfully didn't,
Oh,
but I will say I was in an event end of last year.
oh,
I'm trying to remember the bloody name of it, and I can't. Really lovely guy called Tom who runs it, and it was down in Kent.
mhm.
And I was playing Rumham, James Scott,
Yeah.
and I've got some rapiers, and he killed one of them, and I picked it up, and I don't know what the hell happened, but I just sort of like launched it at him. I didn't throw it at him. I just kind of like fumbled and just sort of like cast it at him. And classically, it was a 3D printed one, so it just sort of smacked the wall and just went into these. Honestly, but thank God I didn't hit any of his models because again, he has a beautiful army. Thankfully, it was just my stupid rapier.
Yeah, I think he has Son of Horus or something like
Sons of
that.
Horus, and he's
Yeah,
got a really beautiful
yeah,
purple mech scheme that he's in the
yeah,
process of doing. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I saw those. Yeah, yeah. So, well, was it a graviton rapier or
No, no, it was
no?
2.0,
Thankfully,
so it was
no.
laser rapier.
A
So
laser rapier. So, okay, that's
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's safe. Okay, laser
Yeah,
is safe.
absolutely. I've been at the receiving end of a 3.0 grav rapier, and it's yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of those, as well
Oh
as the
yeah.
havoc launchers and the heavy flamers and
Mm-mm. Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. No, honestly, I think that yeah, rapiers are maybe if they are used by people with mean intentions, they can
mm,
be quite annoying. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be nice, especially being at the start of the new edition. Like, it's lovely to see new stuff hit the
Yeah.
table and armies become a little bit more diversified and different.
Mm-mm.
I think where it's going to be get a bit rubbish is when it's everybody,
Yeah.
and suddenly it's the same as in second edition, seeing like your recon squads and your whatever else that was a little bit
Mm.
highly tuned. So yeah.
Yeah. Well. And I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you. So, do you have plans to attend some events for 3.0?
3.0. So, well, we were actually due to have a baby in the next like
Oh,
6 weeks.
oh,
So
that's
I
cool.
purposefully didn't sign up this year for no retreat.
Mm.
I've got a little event with uh, Saga Miniatures and Black
Mm.
Reading and Co. Um, in the middle of next year, which I should be able to get some time for.
Mhm.
But I think I'm just going to have to play it by ear because obviously life's going to change quite considerably now. So, hence why my next projects will probably be considerably slower.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations and
Thank you.
well, specifically to the mom, obviously. Um,
Yeah.
obviously. And yes, I'm afraid that your life is going to change, but for the
Considerably.
best,
Yeah.
for the best.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
hope so.
for the
Yeah.
best.
No, I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking
Yeah,
forward to it.
yeah, that's cool. And just I forgot to say a word about the previous miniatures, but
Mm.
we have on the side of the screen one of the many, 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 many Imperial Fist Praetors. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, actually, this one has almost a twin brother, I guess,
Uh-huh.
that this one. And just take a minute. I picked this one because I really love the metallics on this one.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very kind. Yeah, so I tried. There's a book, the old Forge World masterclass book, and they paint an Imperial
Mm.
Fist Fellblade, and
Yeah.
I read that,
Mm.
and they used purple
Mm.
in metallics. So when I do my Imperial Fists, I always do a like purple. I put a few drops of purple contrast in with the metallics
Oh.
to paint that, and then just highlight over the top of it. But my metallics, like I put a bit more effort and time into these because it is the Praetor, and this was going to no retreat, so I wanted to kind of up it a little bit. But again, put some purples in the golds just to kind of contrast with the yellow.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I'm pleased with how it came out. I love this mini. I love this mini in so much as it's really dynamic. It looks really fun on the table, but painting it was a pain in the ass because it was just there's so many little like details and gubbins and things like that. And
Mm.
I think I think you can get a bit lost looking at it sometimes, but
Mm.
it's a fun model, so it is what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
No, it looks very very good. And just because I forgot to have a word about this is
Yeah.
Evander
Evander
Garios.
Garius, yeah,
Garius.
yeah. So he
Yeah,
was
sorry.
obviously one of the first
Yeah.
models to come out for 2.0, and yeah, he was a real joy to paint actually. Like a lot of interesting elements. Like he's got the like Volkite,
Mm,
underslung Volkite on his left arm. He's got the sort of dead Horus, Sons of Horus, on his base.
mm.
Yeah, he was definitely a fun model. I don't think I think I've used him once and he just died. So
Yeah.
I've not really had much of an opportunity. But this was an older one. I'd go back and change a few bits, I'd say. But yeah, he's a fun model. Fun model.
Mm. Yeah, that's cool just to have a look back at some of the
Yeah,
previous models and just to understand and see what you are doing differently
yeah,
now, etc. It's a good way to show and acknowledge progress too.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I was speaking of other dreadnought. So now I have quite a difficult question for you. Uh,
Okay.
how would you describe your painting style?
Yeah, it's a hard question, isn't it? Because I would say I prefer a slightly grittier approach, but then I do enjoy the higher contrast of the armies as opposed to, say, for example, I know that like Henry from Cult of Point Paint prefers a kind of a grittier approach, less contrast for his heresy. Whereas if you have a look at someone like Meadows,
Mm,
he prefers the really high contrast. So I think it's probably somewhere in between, just kind of takes inspiration from different sources. But I think I want them. The one experience I had, which kind of, so I used to paint in a very kind of classically heavy metal style, and I painted the Sisters of Battle when they came out in Our Martyred Lady, so black with red cape.
mm,
And I put them on the table, and I just couldn't see them. I couldn't see what I was looking at, and it was just like it was really demoralizing because you got each model close to your face and you oh yeah it's like well detailed, I would say pretty well painted, but yeah, on the table was quite disappointing. So I sort of from that point onwards said, I'm probably going to steer clear of dark schemes.
mm.
And it's you kind of have to have an element of contrast to get that visual feedback on the table.
Right. Well, with that guy on the side of the screen,
Hmm.
obviously, yeah, the yellow is well, you don't have any doubt when you are looking at it. It's
Mm.
the Leviathan Imperial Fist Dreadnought, and
Yeah.
I really love that the loadout. It's like how many guns can I put on a Leviathan? Yeah, that much. Okay, let me
That
do
many guns.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, this one was I've got the Leviathan is my favorite kit in the Heresy. Like I love the sort of big chunky like siege aspect of
Mm,
the Dreadnought, and I think um I can swap out all the arms on all three. So I've got like a close combat one, I've got the
yeah.
shooty one, and I've got a kind of mixed. And this originally was the mixed one, but because he was sort of, I think, probably one of the better painted, I took him to no retreat. So I just sort of bumped him up. But he's got the now illegal assault cannon
Yeah.
chest piece, which was good fun. Very expensive back in 2.0, but it was a good
Yeah.
laugh. So yeah,
Mm. Yeah, those assault cannons were very deadly. Yeah, actually.
yeah, yeah. But I
Uh,
think they were like 20 or 40 points a piece or something. It was something really sort of not worth it, but it was fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is well, I don't know if we can talk about the technique or skill, but what is the hardest technique that you are using on a regular basis?
I'd say the skill that I'm using on the most regular basis would be airbrush and like
Mhm.
airbrush modulation. Like I think the airbrush is just like the best tool for the hobby. I think uh I know, especially when you sort of watch a lot of YouTubers, they obviously get a lot of comments saying, "Oh, I can't get an airbrush," or "I don't want to use an airbrush," and I don't I don't understand why you wouldn't, because as I was saying before, I mean, like I said, I get a lot of joy out of finishing projects, and it just cuts
Mm,
this huge chunk of time getting the base colors down. But then, refining airbrush use, like I use it now to like airbrush glazes, and I've been practicing things like non-metallic metals, which, again, you can kind of glaze colors into those. And
Mm.
so there's just so much to do with an airbrush that I think is just fantastic for the hobby. I think the hardest technique still, I think, it's like brush glazing in just so much as like not the actual skill itself. I think it's more the kind of when you're doing it over an entire army, when you're glazing small layers of color
Mm.
over an area, you want to obviously make sure that the color stays uniform across an
Yeah.
army.
Mm.
And especially, as someone who kind of like bounces between projects, I try my best to kind of keep a log of what I've done, but
Mm.
it gets really frustrating when you can't quite work out like how many times you've glazed this or like what. So yeah, I think that's probably yeah, it's the more refined stuff that's the hardest, I'd say. Um, but yeah, airbrush is the most regularly used.
Right. What would you want to try? Something new or improve?
Um, I think putting more brushwork in. I think some of the feedback I got from No Retreat was like the my airbrushing is obviously I'm quite adept at that,
Mm.
but to add a bit more brushwork in. So I think for my next projects, I'll probably try to do a few more edge highlights, a bit more kind of brush glazing.
Mhm.
I'd like to improve on things like that. I'd like to give non-metallic metal. I can't even say it. That's a good first step, isn't it?
Même le faire,
Non-metallic
désolé.
metals, yeah,
Yeah.
a go. But I think within reason. I mean, Cal, so Saga Miniatures and I did. We sort of teamed up at one of the events, and we'd not actually met each other at that point. But we both basically said we're going to do scars, and he decided he was going to do non-metallic metal for the entire army,
Yeah.
which I have infinite respect for him, and he did a fantastic job. It's a beautiful army, but for me, I think whilst it's a great effect, I think the time investment again, I wouldn't want to kind of get bogged down in it. So it's
Mm.
just kind of picking and choosing when to do it. Like I know you've got a picture of the Saturnine freighter I've done recently. I dabbled in it on that just to kind of give it a shot and see how I felt about it. So I think I'll introduce it in a few areas just to kind of push myself, but we'll
Mm.
see. Again, I want to get projects finished, and especially with
Mm.
less time on my hands. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's always better, I think, to finish something
yeah.
than just to wait for it to be really perfect. So yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I think sometimes you do need to just kind of put something down because I think this is the problem, and I think what's why I struggle with these kind of longer projects is that
Mm.
I'm kind of just get sick to death of looking at it, and I know a lot of people who do Golden Demon and stuff probably feel the same.
Yeah.
Spending 2 months looking at the same, arm or whatever, but yeah,
Yeah, I feel you. If I see the same miniature on my desk for more than 1 week, I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
fed up with it. So yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Get it done.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have a favorite color to paint? And is it yellow?
Do you know what? I actually think it is yellow. Like I've painted enough yellow now,
Mm.
and I really enjoy it. I think it's a really nice color to paint. And I think again, it's quite striking. Like it stands out on the table. I
Mm.
don't like. I was very keen for my imperial fists not to look like lemons,
Mm.
and I think you can add a lot of character into yellow. I want to experiment a bit with adding like maybe crimson or purple type thing into it. Um, but yeah, I think yellow probably. I've just been painting some dark elves, and I have really enjoyed painting like a magenta color. That's been really
Yeah.
satisfying.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think it's going to be yellow.
Uh, is there a color that you avoid to paint at all cost?
Um, do you know what? Red,
Yeah.
like, there's something about red that I don't know. I think it's quite difficult to get it as vibrant as you want it. And
Mm.
as I said, I'm about to start like a small Blood Angels project. I'm going to start with 10 tactical marines. I think I think I've got a way to paint it that I'm going to be happy with. I've done a test model and I like the color. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, watch this space.
Great. So, I mean, if you are happy with the result, that's what matters
Yeah,
in the end.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm. The actual ongoing painting project is still some Imperial Fist.
I've got about a million different projects on the
Oh,
go that are in
right.
sort of varying levels of completion. So I dabble in so many different things that there's always something that I can kind of pick back up. And I think I need to change my mindset to thinking about it like a library of things I can choose from as
Mm.
opposed to a backlog. But um, at the moment, yeah, I'm just sort of like having a play with some dark elves, which is fun, like quite nostalgic. Big fan of Adeptus Titanicus, so I want to get my Titans finished.
Cool. Yeah.
So I've got a sort of first part that I've finished. I'm going to now do the second half, which is like a War Master,
Yeah.
Warbringer, and two
Mm.
dire wolves. And then all these other things that I've already sort of mentioned. So Death Guard are on the cards, Blood Angels. I've got like a little mech detachment, which I probably am never going to get to. Yeah, honestly, you should see my. It's just embarrassing, and that's after I've told all this stuff. But yeah,
Well, no, don't feel embarrassed about that. Let's be optimistic about it. I mean, yeah,
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, all this stuff that's going to get done and finished. It's really exciting.
exactly. Yeah. But if I just may say is about the mech, the Heresy Mechanicum, is that
Yeah.
the models are really a pain to build, like
Mm,
especially the Talax, Castellax, etc. But they
yeah.
are really fun and quick to paint. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I think you're right there. I mocked up a Thalax in some fun sort of metallic colors, but I think the problem is that like uh, especially after no retreat, I just feel like I can't half-ass it.
yeah.
Like and then because of that, then I don't think I can be bothered to paint them. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I might end up just selling them, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, anyway, you'll be painting new stuff, and
Yeah, exactly,
that will be
exactly.
gorgeous, and you'll be very happy with it,
Yeah,
um,
I hope so.
and that's for the best. Just one thing, last thing about the Leviathan, just to say that my favorite thing about this mini, uh, well, the mini itself is really cool, but what I really like and enjoy is the two scratches on the top of the shoulder on the yoke.
Yeah,
Those two scratches and the subtle, just yeah, rust streak
the
on
grime coming
the
out. Yeah,
those two streaks are brilliant. Yeah, I love those.
thank you. Yeah, I think I think we've talked about this before actually, but the kind of less is more.
Yeah.
And I think this was the third Leviathan I painted.
Mm.
So I tried to be a little bit more refined in the damage. Yeah, I was pleased with it. Yeah,
Mm.
thank you.
Is there a model that you are very proud about or satisfied with?
Um, I Nothing really. This is the
No.
problem. Nothing really sticks out in my mind immediately.
Mm.
Um, I think I can be quite harsh on myself
Mm.
um, because I always know there's bits I could push further or that
Mm.
I wish looked better or whatever. Um, but I think cohesively, maybe cohesively, I'm probably the most proud of my white scars. I think as a theme, I think they look really nice together.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe the Xiphon that I painted for the White Scars, I was quite proud of that actually. Yeah, maybe that. I had a sort of crazy Saturday morning and just did freehand on the canopy, and
Mm.
I was really pleased how it came out. And it adds a bit of like interest and yeah, it was a fun model to paint. I've not really painted a flyer before, so yeah,
Mm.
maybe that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And is there a model or a unit maybe that you won't ever want to paint ever again?
Ooh, never want to paint again. To be honest with you, I think anything that just has like a million and one different details just gets a bit gets a bit like gets a bit frustrating. I think the first thing that came to my mind about the thing I never want to paint again is Legion's Imperialis infantry.
Uh, yeah.
uh, LI, to those who haven't played, is brilliant. It's great fun, but just
Mm.
painting the infantry for some reason just kind of saps the life out of you. And you don't even have to do it like, I don't know, particularly well because it
Mm.
looks fine from far away. But it's just painting the tiny guns and painting the tiny missile launchers, and it's just a bit like painting the tiny tanks is fantastic fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, LI infantry,
Yeah.
not heresy, but yeah, sort of answers the question.
Right. Is there a model that you are dreaming to paint but never get to paint yet?
Uh, do you know what? I would love to paint a Warlord Titan full size.
Okay.
And I think
Okay.
I do think one day, like, when I've got the time and I've got a bit more space so I can actually build it. The problem with living in London and having a flat is that you definitely can't be playing around with resin and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, one day I'd love to paint a Warlord. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you need a dedicated bedroom for that,
I
maybe.
think you do. I think you need a garage
Yeah.
or a whole space for it because I think that's a kind of like a good few month project where you just have to put everything else aside.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and I heard that it's a bit like a dog. Like when you're
Yes.
done with
Yeah.
it, you have to walk it around like
Yeah.
once
Walk
a
it.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
etc. Yeah.
Yeah. Feed
Mm,
it. Feed it. Yeah.
yeah. And if you could create one model for the heresy that is not in the range yet.
Not in the range yet. I think. Uh, I think they're probably going to come, but I think it's going to be these alternate designs of the Primarchs, like.
Mm,
I'm really, really excited to see more modern
yeah.
takes and
Mm,
designs on the Primarchs because you look at some of the stuff that, I mean, Fulgrim Transfigured or whatever his name
yeah.
is just incredible. And, you know, not my vibe, not my jam, so not
Mm,
something I would ever go and pick up and paint, but I can appreciate it. And taking that design style, to the Khan on a bike, or Dawn with a shield, or Sanguinius, fighting um,
mm,
Horus. All these things that could come are just really exciting, and I think there's a lot to be excited for. Like the guys at Games Workshop are incredibly talented, and it's just I just want to see more of the same, really. Yeah.
right. Uh, just a word about the that guy who is,
Yeah.
I guess, a master of signals, maybe, or
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
And I picked him not because I thought it was my favorite model or anything, but I like what you did with the Praetor from the Age of Darkness box,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
this one, this body, yeah, nobody really enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
it ended very cool being a master of signal. So yeah,
Mm.
I really enjoyed it. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks. This was again. I was off to an event at Dark Sphere in London,
Mm,
and uh, I needed a master of signals, and I had the Praetor from the box, and um, because of his scaling, he fit really
yeah.
well with. I had an old Primaris army that I sold
Mm,
before I got into Heresy. Had a bunch of spare pieces, and the arms worked really well on it.
mm,
The sort of panel from the Spartan.
mm,
And yeah, I was pleased with it. The biggest kit bash was so that's a Reaver head,
mm,
which I cut
mm,
off a Mark Six
yeah.
nose and stuck it
Mm,
on. And I think it came out well. I was really pleased with it. Yeah.
yeah. And I really love the little I don't know, radar on the backpack.
Yes, yeah, that was more Primaris
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know what it's from, but
Yeah.
it was yeah,
Yeah,
it was good.
I like that part. So you were talking about the white scar. So
Yeah.
These are a few of them. Those are Kizgan,
Yeah,
Javelin.
Kai Gazan, Kai. I don't know how
Kizgan,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, one of that, something like that.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And yeah, those specific javelins, they are, yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. And well, obviously they are beautifully painted.
Thank
Um,
you.
so we are done with the general hobby question. Now it's time to see who you really are. I mean, so would you rather go on a trip in the warp with Erebus or Engram?
Definitely Erebus
Ah,
because I
nice.
think Angron, it would just be this kind of like frenzied whatever, and he'd probably murder you a few times, and you'd get reincarnated, and it would just be terrible. But I feel like Erebus would kind of know his way around, and you'd see some stuff, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Nice, very nice choice.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, did you ever wash your brush or maybe airbrush on your
Oh
coffee
yeah,
beverage? Yeah.
constantly, constantly. Did I enjoy it? No, no, I didn't. No, no. I enjoy my tea and my coffee. I mean, the amount of times I've washed my brush in it is sad, and I also knock over my tea and coffee like onto my hobby area, which is an absolute nightmare as well. So
Mhm.
most of my stuff smells like coffee, so not ideal. Yeah.
Is there a kind of sport, physical activity that you enjoy?
I used to do a lot more sport when I was younger and at uni, but now I just really go to the gym. So I just try and keep as active as I can. I really enjoy food, so it's mainly just to kind of keep me in a sort of relatively decent shape, so I can enjoy eating far too
Yeah,
much, basically.
yeah. I understand. It's the cycle of life, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And speaking of food, do you have any specific favorite food and drink?
Oh, food, best favorite drink. Um, Oh, that's a really good question. What is my? I have a very wide selection of food and drinks that I really enjoy. I would say one of my sort of go-to deliveries here in London. There's a really good like I suppose you could call it a kebab place, but it's quite a posh kebab, but
Hmm.
it's like chicken and like fried onions and in this kind of like naan wrap. And it is just the best thing. It's called Baba Boom, and it's just yeah divine with like curly fries. It
Hmm.
sounds quite basic, but they kind of zhuzh it up a lot.
Yeah.
And it's
Mm.
yeah, it's pretty banging. So
So,
would recommend for any Londoners.
right. Um, and do you do anything else while you are hobbying? Like a lot of people said they were listening to podcast,
Yeah,
audiobooks,
yeah, yeah.
music.
I listen to a lot of podcasts and audiobooks and things like that. So it's how I sort of bosh through like the heresy stuff.
Mhm.
But there's so many good like heresy podcasts and things like
Mhm.
that like obviously Heresy Hammer and Merchant Princelings and then obviously just yeah Audible in general. And then more sort of like less hobby related stuff. I've really got into the rest is politics, which is I never thought I'd like politics, and it's quite interesting. So the world's quite a strange place at the moment, so I think it's quite a good way to get an insight. So yeah,
Yeah, actually, I would advise anybody just not to invest a lot of time, but just to be curious about that. Yeah.
yeah, this is it, isn't it? It's a difficult balance to strike,
Mm.
um, but it's a good podcast. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. So now I have a really hard question for you, my
Okay.
Imperial Fist friend. So those fortifications on Terra were finally breached by the traitors.
Yes.
Um, would have it been the case if Perturabo have built the same fortifications?
That's a really good question.
Hmm.
Um, so in my mind, and I could be wrong, but I see Perturabo as obviously incredibly calculating. It's all just about the maths
Yeah.
of, what's going to work where. Whereas I feel like Dawn probably has, whilst very, very, um, I don't know, sort of structured and methodical, probably has a little bit more creativity, I suppose you could call it. Like when
Mhm.
you think of, you know, what happened with the Khan, he knew he wasn't going to be able to control him, so his decision was just to kind of let him be and do what he wants, type thing.
Mhm.
And I think it's little bits of creativity like that which maybe Perturabo couldn't have calculated for. I don't know. So, but I'm an Imperial Fist, so I'm going to say Dawn did the best.
Yeah, yeah, obviously. Uh,
Obviously.
Speaking of that, what would make Rogaldon laugh?
The idea that Perturabo would have done better.
What?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I feel like again, in my mind, he's quite cold, quite calculating. I feel like maybe in the, not in the heresy, maybe one of his brothers could make him laugh. But
Yeah.
I feel like of all the Primarchs, he's probably one of the least funny.
Mm. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
maybe the lion is less fun than Dawn
Oh
because
yeah, definitely. He's going to be a bit of a hard head, isn't he?
Mm. But yeah, yeah, maybe yeah. If you ever meet Rogaldon, maybe you can try
I
the
will. I will try my. I'll try my best joke.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Mastodon is a good one.
Master done. Yeah. Well, soon
Yeah,
it'll be master done.
yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I just have to say that you are ready to be a dad because you already have the jokes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, this is it. This is. I have the bad jokes ready. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly that. I've
yeah.
been prepping.
Yeah. And if you have to pick one, would you rather use Phosphex or Graviton?
Ooh. I think Phosphex. Like, yeah, Phosphex. I
Yeah,
like the idea. I don't know. It's pretty brutal and horrible.
yeah,
But I think it's it's very heresy.
yeah, it
It is
is.
very heresy. Just yeah, just no one's coming through here.
Yeah, no, I think you're good with doing Death Guard next. Yeah,
Yes,
you have
absolutely.
your
I've got
Death Guard
the quad
graduated.
mortars with the siege. What's it called? The siege. I've forgotten his name. But anyway, siege
Yeah.
breaker, and
Mm.
quad launchers.
Mm.
It could be quite fun. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And just another dreadnought,
yeah,
Derezio
yeah,
this time, with obviously missile launchers and las cannon. And
yeah.
yeah, always well the same. I really love the metallics, and
Thank you.
they are looking very I don't know. Real. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not sci-fi metallics,
sure.
and I like that very much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest inspirations actually for the metallics, I've mentioned the purple, um, but funnily enough, if I don't know if it's just when you look at car rims, I'm just looking outside
Mhm.
now, and they build up the dirt. There's a kind of matte brown,
Yeah.
and then it is just sort of metallic on the sort of tops, which you can achieve quite easily just through like airbrushing or dry brushing or even just sort of selective use of washes. So, but yeah, no,
Mhm.
I'm actually quite pleased with how the metallics ended up coming out. Yeah,
So, we have gone through the questions, and it's almost the end of this interview. But just for the last words and comments, uh,
Mhm.
those are one of your latest miniatures. So, obviously, they
Yes,
are
yep,
from the Saturnine box. And
yep,
yeah, I mean, if we compare those with the previous miniatures that
uh-huh.
we saw, like the Contemptor, the Evander Gaius, etc. Just yeah, in a second you can tell that something has changed a lot. I
Mm.
mean, in the painting, etc. And it's not only the way subtle weathering, or well, there's something, yeah, you improved a lot. And
Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
and, yeah, the Saturnine actually, yeah, I'm still unsure about about where I stand towards those miniatures. Yeah, I'm still
Yeah,
a
yeah,
bit, yeah. But seeing those, yeah, definitely make me think about painting the one I got, and the Praetor specifically is yeah, it's a
yeah.
beautiful
I
piece.
think. I'm with you on that one. I had very mixed opinions on the Saturnine. My initial thought on the Saturnine was I'm not sure I like their kind of like beetle
Mm,
carapace bellies. Like and I think they've got kind of funny hips. Like they sort of
yeah.
very much have this like hourglass
Mm,
figure, which I wasn't a huge fan of.
mm,
So the first thing I tried was the tabard that you can see
yeah.
in the middle,
Mm,
because I think on the Praetor the kind of belt aspect with the little sort of tabardy thing at the bottom masks that really
yeah.
nicely. So I gave it a shot, and it was Barry Anfarius
Mm,
who I met at No Retreat, who did a little course, and I kindly picked his brain, and he was really really helpful, very kind of him to kind of just sort of help me through.
that's
And
cool.
it was just basic green stuff, but just kind of building the tabard to look somewhat natural
Mm,
was a challenge actually. It's amazing how easily you can make it look wrong, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
As it kind of, because it's got a flow and it's got a flow in the right places and
Mm,
whatnot. And actually, I really liked it. I thought it looked really good. But it's just I couldn't be asked to do it on all
mm,
three. So I just thought it would be fine for the sergeant. In terms of the models themselves, I think actually interestingly they look quite they aren't my favorite when you're looking at them in isolation, but when you put them next to things, they're
yeah.
quite fun because they're so much bigger.
Mm,
And it kind of gives them this kind of like pseudo dreadnought feel,
mm,
which is it's quite a nice um, just sort of visual change when you're looking across the army.
mm, mhm.
Um, but yeah, I did try to go maybe a little bit less on the weathering, tried to refine a few extra things. I did rush a few other elements because,
Mm,
again, just from our previous discussions, I just wanted them off the table at
mhm.
certain points. And I tried to push a few other elements. And I tried, on the Praetor, I tried non-metallic metal on the blade, which I really enjoyed.
Mm,
So that was good fun. So yeah, I think it's been a good bit to come together. I mean, obviously, to be honest with you, Imperial Fists, I kind of wanted to park. The
mm,
Mastodon was kind of like my final hurrah, sort of as a kind of like a closure for the project.
yeah.
Um, but but the Saturnine stuff just kind of fits into the Imperial Fist. Uh, it definitely fits more than, say, for example, the White Scars,
Mm,
or it'll fit very nicely into the Death Guard. But I don't really plan on doing any. So I just thought I had to paint these for the fists, give them a
yeah.
shot, get them on the table in the kind of gaming army sense, and then yeah, I've got other bits to be getting on with. Yeah,
Right. And then one MK2 tactical squad,
yeah,
which looks brilliant too. And also, yeah, well, but that's not on you. It's tactical squad always have the same poses, whether they are in
yes,
MK3, MK6,
yeah.
MK2, etc. And well, that that's a bit boring, but it's not because of your paint job or miniatures. It's just the way they are.
Exactly. I think sorry, I've got to put my plug on. The Yeah, a tactical squad is a tactical squad. I get quite a lot of satisfaction out of tactical squads. I don't know why, but they're just kind of I think they're just the bread and butter. So they're good to kind of break your teeth, just to
Yeah,
kind of get you into a mindset. So for me, getting back into painting Imperial Fists, it was quite a nice kind of like, right, yeah, let's this is how we're going to do it type
yeah.
thing.
And just to have also look at your white scars, so just a Tartaros squad and an Assault squad, and yeah, those guys look good with the curved
Right, my headphones
blades.
have just run out of battery. Bear with me.
Yeah, so
Classic timing.
the curved blades look very very good, and the red white scar works pretty well too. So yeah, and
Yeah, so the we've got. Can you hear me? Okay, because my
yeah.
headphones. Yeah, yeah. So the Eben Keshig, they were good fun.
Yeah.
I was taking them to an event with Rumham actually at the end of December, but then unfortunately got ill, so I couldn't make it.
Ah.
But again, I was really pleased with just kind of the I wanted again with my white scars for them to feel in the environment they're in, and that's under the shadow of the orbital plate, so they're a little bit more muted, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Mm.
But yeah, they're great fun, and they've had a bit of a resurgence in 3.0. I need to. I'm gonna do the non-metallic metal on the blades at some point. I'll go back and make it a 10-man squad.
Yeah.
The Dark Sons of Death, they were brilliant fun. A lot of detail.
Mhm.
Yes, painting Mark II, you definitely feel the difference between Mark II and Mark
Yeah.
III because of all the trim. So there was a lot of details on those, but I was really pleased. The red came out nicely, and yeah, I haven't had a chance to use them because again, I never got to use them when I went to the event. So I'll have to try and get them on the table. And thankfully, they didn't get taken out of the Legends
Yeah.
uh, PDF. So I was pleased with that. So
Yeah.
yeah, gonna have to give them a shot.
Well, I hope that you'll do that in a 3.0 rule set. That would
Yeah,
be cool. And obviously some last Imperial Fist. And
yeah,
just to finish this interview, well, obviously a beautiful Imperial Fist Herald, but also some other stuff that you have been painted to just so people know that you don't paint only heresy stuff
yeah, yeah,
and that
yeah.
you can paint brilliantly some other stuff too. The Eldar avatar is yeah, it's beautiful, and I
Thank
love
you.
the dark elves. I don't know, it's not a dragon. Well,
Yeah, no, it is. It's a
it's a
dark elf. It's a black dragon,
black.
dark elf lord on black dragon or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun little project actually. That was because I decided I was going to get into old world to
Yeah.
have a play a few games with some friends,
Mm.
and yeah, classically, it arrived and I just sat and for like, I don't know, 6 hours on a Saturday, and all
Yeah.
I did was paint this model. And I just loved it. It was so fun to do like different textures and different, not power armor basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was really, really pleased how it came out. Actually, again, it's not, I think again it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like you have to decide what you're going to do, and this isn't like a display piece. It was just something I wanted to get on the table, and yeah, was pleased how it turned out.
Mm. Well, thanks a lot
No pleasure. Thank you.
for your time. It was a very cool episode, and personally, I learned plenty of stuff, like the shade, the violet shade in the metallics and etc. So thank you for that.
No,
And
no pleasure.
well, so good luck with your new family, upcoming
Thank
new
you.
family member.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks,
And
Joe.
I hope that, well, you will still have time to paint some glorious miniatures. Because
I will do my darndest. Yeah, I'm sure I will.
wow. So thanks, and see you next time for another episode of Beyond the Airbrush. Bye.
Bye.